know a lot of people are going to hear this, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed that I said that.
Would you ever date a real estate agent?
Do you know how many real estate agents there are in Ontario?
I answered back when you hit me up, when you slid in my DMs.
Isn't that funny how we met? I was like, this mortgage agent seems cool.
Have you ever seen other realtors use their business headshot photo on a dating app?
Real estate agents never retire. I don't know if I sent this to you, but I was on TikTok the other day and there was a bed making competition and I just got in this deep hole of watching these people do a bed making competition and I loved it. Welcome to the Where to Begin in Real Estate podcast with your hosts, Maggie
and Agnes. We're back and ready to give you our unfiltered opinions on all things real estate and life.
Do you know how many real estate agents there are in Ontario?
Too many.
Yeah.
How many?
Any guess? Like any idea? Ballpark.
Like 100,000?
78,000, so not far off. How many mortgage agents are there?
Actually, I looked this up the other day, and FSRA, who oversees Ontario, said that there were 18,000.
That's like a crazy difference. I mean, not everyone is getting their mortgage through a mortgage agent. They get it through banks as well. But thinking there's the same amount of transactions, or I mean, mortgage agents are dealing kind of with more because there's refinancing and stuff like that. But think about 78,000 real estate agents versus, would you say 18,000 mortgage agents?
Yeah.
So 60,000
A mixture
more.
of brokers and agents.
Yeah.
So that number actually grew since the pandemic because I think
a lot of people got into it then.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were just at home bored and they're like, well, there's too many real estate agents, so I'm going to take a shot at becoming a mortgage agent.
Well, the same thing happened with real estate agents. So many people became real estate agents during the pandemic. They were like, oh, I may as well.
Yeah. The only thing with mortgage brokers is you can't really see how many out of those 18,000 actually do volume.
Yeah.
So I know for real estate agents,
yes.
there are stats out for that. Do you have them?
I do have them. Which is interesting because, you know, so many people say I'm in the top 1%, the top 2%. So
okay, yes. Can you please explain what that means? Because I feel like everyone has something like that in their profile who's a real estate agent. Like top 1%, top 2%. I've even seen like top 20%, which I don't know why you would put that in your bio. No offense, but
yeah. Okay, I'll just break the stats down. So out of the 78,000 agents, 30,000 did 0 deals last year.
30,000 agents out of the
78,000.
Wow.
Did 30. Did 0. So that means 30,000 did 0. So those
not surprised.
No, a lot of people do it as a second job or they just get their license when they want to go buy and sell because they are like, I'll save the commission, do it myself, whatever, right? So yeah, then 29,000.
29,000.
So this is bringing us to 59,000. This is the first 59,000 people.
Okay.
So 29,000 did 1 to 5 deals.
Okay. And this is just Ontario?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did 1 to 5 deals?
Yes.
Okay. This is why I really stress to not use like your Aunt Sue to be a real estate agent who has sold like one home in her life, because it matters.
It matters.
Just because you have the title of I'm a realtor,
yeah,
doesn't mean you're a good realtor.
Well, it's the same with mortgage agent or any industry, right? Like not to shit on like agents, like, cause you know, I know they already get a bad rap and I don't want to put like more negativity out there, but I do think there needs to be awareness around like any industry. If you're not actively in it, doing transactions, the market changes week to week. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but that's why too, we really stress like Google the person, see if they have reviews, check out the team. If they're on a team, like what type of, you know, business are they doing? Yeah. That's very important because someone who does only like 1 or 2 deals a year, they likely have another job. Yeah. And they're not focusing on what you said, market trends and things like that are important when you're listing a home or when you're putting in offers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And negotiating and knowing really how to get you a good deal. And to that point too, if they're doing another job, you know, you are usually working a full-time job and then you want to go around your schedule to see homes, the likelihood that they can, like if they can't go show you a home that evening and then it sells, and you lose out on a home because they're not available because it's just a side hustle, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I want to jump into the rest of the numbers. So 3,000 did 11 to 20 deals.
11 to 20. Only 3,000.
Almost 700. So it was like 690. Did 21 to 30 deals. So that is the top 2%. So someone says they did the top 2%, that's 21 to 30 deals. And this is buy, sell, leases.
Yeah.
And then the top 1% is 550 people out of 78,000 did 31 plus deals.
Okay.
So that's what that means.
Well, there you have it, people. That's not a lot.
No.
Out of the, what was the original?
78,000.
78,000, only
550.
550 people do 31
plus deals.
Plus deals a year.
Yeah. And that can include teams. So these numbers are, you know, it's like, okay, so if someone's running a team, there's different ways with your brokerage is team members their deals can fall under all the team leader or individually.
Yeah.
Depending how your team leader structures it. Sometimes they want it all filtered through them and then you get a cut, or you just split it and the brokerage puts it under your name. Mm-hmm. It just depends like how your team is. So some of those like 31 deals could be a team leader. So not necessarily are they doing all of them, but yeah.
So that's roughly like 2 to 3 deals a month. The top 1% is doing, and that includes leasing.
Yeah.
Well, that definitely puts things into perspective.
Yeah. And then some other interesting stats are that 67% of real estate agents are in the GTA, and then 47% are outside the GTA.
Okay.
Not shocking.
No.
At all, because there's, you know, more people living in the GTA, more transactions happening. 46% of Ontario realtors are over the age of 50.
Over the age of 50.
That I've heard before, but to actually see the number is interesting.
Yeah, you know what? It's because we're, you know, in this world where we're just really focused on social media, and a lot of the people that we follow are close to age to us. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we think of when we think of this industry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think another part of it is, and people joke about this all the time in our industry, real estate agents never retire.
Yeah.
They never do, because you can go and do a few transactions a year, pass a few on to your friend, take a cut. Why would you retire if you can still be making money and just kind of wean off of it?
Very true.
And I think there's somewhat of, if you are a real estate agent, you have more of that like entrepreneurial spirit, and a lot of them just like to work and they don't want to, you know? So
I can see that, because I can't really see myself just not working ever.
Yeah, I can't either, but 30 years from now we might feel differently.
Yeah, we'll see. I might like embrace my grandma era.
You might. But especially like the industry you're in too, I think it would be similar. You could just still do mortgages.
Yep.
You could cut back, you could have employees, you could pass it off. So a lot of real estate agents sell their book of business at a certain point, and then maybe just do family and friends. And then those are some of those lower numbers too, right? So it might be people working part-time, but it might be people that are in their 60s just doing a handful of deals a year for, you know, their, you know, preferred clients that have bought with them like 10 times over their career, and their close family and friends, and then passing all their new business off to somebody else. That's what we see a lot. But yeah, not a lot of agents retire. So another interesting stat is men versus women. What do you think? Do you have any idea of what the split is in Ontario? And then I also have the US number as well, like as a whole.
From what I see online, I just see way more women in the industry.
I think that's because we are women, so we probably follow more women, because it's not far off. So there's, in Ontario, 58% of that 78,000 are men and 42% are women. Whereas the states as a whole, 65% are women to 35% men. So in the states, you are right. There's a lot more.
And I would be curious what percentage is in that top like 1 to 2% gender-wise.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me, but That would be interesting. But I know in our office, so I work for Remax, our office owner owns 5 offices. So we have over 500 agents just between our offices. And the men that are doing, very high volume, it's more males doing it than females.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just our office. I'm curious what those numbers are across the board.
When I think about my office, it is predominantly men.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you think about it like that.
But like who we follow is probably people that we connect with and like-minded. So yeah. I do follow a handful of male real estate agents on Instagram, but I think I definitely
follow more females.
Me too.
I'm more inclined to follow back if you're a female.
Yeah,
me
too.
I'm like, you go, girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So this episode, I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more personal and ask you a few questions.
I think it's good to show off our personality a bit more.
I'll ease you into it.
Okay.
So very just like basic questions to start. Okay. So the first one, are you more of an extrovert or introvert?
I'm definitely an extrovert introvert. I don't know if you've heard that term before.
Okay.
So I have a social battery that expires.
Okay.
So I only have so much in me. So I can, be around people a few nights a week, but I do definitely notice I need my downtime. Like some of my friends, every single night they have plans, they're going for dinners, work dinners, this and that. And I'm like, I can't do that. After a few nights, I just need downtime. And so I have a limit to it, but you can throw me in any situation. I will make friends. I'm comfortable around people. I'm not shy at all. So I think I'm like somewhere in the middle. And a lot of people say that I'm like that with like my mom too, where I'm approachable. Like, I don't know what you think, but
yeah, you're definitely approachable.
Yeah, I'm approachable, but I'm not the center.
I answered back when you hit me up, when you slid in my DMs.
Isn't that funny how we met? I was like, this mortgage agent seems cool. We would hit it off. But yeah, so I think that you can, at events or work settings or whatever, I can go, I can do my job, I'll make friends anywhere I go, I can hold a conversation. So I think, but I wouldn't call myself a full-on extrovert. I'm not the center of attention. I don't like being the center of attention at all. I don't even love putting my face on social media, but that is another conversation that, I do for my job, and I've been pushing myself out of my comfort zone. But yeah, how about you?
I definitely love being the center of attention. I for sure am one of the loudest people in the room, but I do appreciate my downtime. I think since having kids, I've turned into more of an introvert. I do love just looking forward to the weekend and staying in and catching up on all my shows and enjoying, a glass of wine or something, or just low key. I'm kind of enjoying more just having people over and, making them dinner or something like that, a few friends. Today I'm having friends come over and we're making gnocchi. This is 30.
Yeah. When I think it's also when you have a home and home ownership, because I've talked about this with a bunch of my friends too. This before, when they're renting and you have roommates in your 20s, you're in such a different phase of your life, and you want to socialize more. But I think too, we've talked about once you have a home, you're just I want to enjoy my home. I don't want to leave my home. You love it and you have pride of ownership, and you just want to stay in and cook and watch your shows and have a glass of wine. And I'm exactly the same. If I have a few weekends in a row where I have plans, or in the summer I'm going to the cottage a lot, I'll carve out and put in my calendar, I need a weekend to myself. Yeah. And I just want to, watch my shows, have a glass of wine, and be with my dog. And I am so content and recharged that way. So
I think too, because of this job, I constantly have to speak to people and socialize. So I think that has made me also more of an introvert, because now I really enjoy that downtime, because I'm always on during the day. And I'm also on for my kids, and I'm on for, friends and family, whatever. Yeah. So I do like that downtime.
I think that's an important point I didn't really think about, because same, running your own business, but then also being more in a sales role. You're always on. I'm always talking to people. I'm always, with clients, taking them to showings, negotiating deals. Like, everyone knows what a real estate agent does, but you are always on, and you're also always.
It's not fake either. It's
no,
like
it's
we
genuine.
enjoy it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not to say I genuinely love it, but yes, outside of that,
it's exhausting.
That's why it's exhausting, because I'm like putting my whole heart and soul into it. And I love my job, but yeah, I think you are right that does kind of take up that energy.
Yeah, like if you have a super long day work-wise, and then you have to go out with friends to party or something, that is a day where I'm just drained. And the next day I'm at home and I'm doing nothing the entire day.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think like us being that good balance is also probably why we're good at our jobs and why we've done well and why clients, I think, want to like work with us as well.
I think so. Okay, next question.
Okay.
I think this will be very telling.
Okay.
Of your personality. Can you fold a fitted sheet?
That is such a random question.
I want to know.
Of course.
Of course you can.
Have you not been to my house? How like OCD I am? I color coordinate everything. I fold everything a certain way. No one can fold my towels actually like I can, or make a bed. If I have a guest come over, they're like, oh, I'll make the bed. I'm like, just don't worry about it. I'll wash the sheets. Like I have a certain way of doing everything. I like doing it myself.
Okay, this is very telling about our personalities because I too am very OCD.
Yeah.
And everything is like organized to a T at my house. But I cannot fold a fitted sheet.
You can't?
No. I've watched like videos and stuff, but I don't care. Like I don't care. I will fold it however I can maneuver when I'm holding it, and then it just goes in the closet. Like I don't care about that. That's like one thing where I'm just like, nope, I'm at capacity.
I don't know if I sent this to you, but I was on TikTok the other day and there was a bed making competition and I just got in this deep hole of watching these people do a bed making competition and I loved it.
This is life in your 30s. You know a lot of people are going to hear this, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed that I said that. Oh, wow.
She's single. Okay, moving on. Speaking of you being single, would you ever date a real estate agent?
Okay, I never say never, but like right now, no.
You wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
Reason being is we just were talking about it. You always have to be on. You're working 24/7. You have you have always are on your phone. Always have clients out. I want someone that is not in the industry and we're not always talking about it. I don't want to be always talking about work. I want some separation. So I think that's my ideal situation.
Yeah.
Like if I met the perfect person and they were a real estate agent, I'm not going to say no, but I can't imagine myself. I think that's very hard for me to wrap my mind around.
I can't relate.
I know.
No comment. Okay, next question. Have you ever seen other realtors use their business headshot photo on a dating app?
100%.
No, you haven't.
Okay, so I'm not on dating apps right now. They're brutal.
Okay.
I took a break at the beginning of the summer and I was like, oh, I'm going to enjoy the summer. I have a lot of cottage weekends. I'll go back on the fall. I just have not had any desire to. But when I was on them, a bunch of agents that I've seen on social media or
like
ads
their actual headshot
was one of them. So you have to put, I think, 6, if I remember correctly, like on Hinge.
Do you think that's like a strategic thing? Like, I have a job. This is my headshot.
I think it's also a gender thing. Guys in general have less photos of themselves. I'm guessing. This is what I thought at the time, right?
I personally would not like a man that has a lot of photos.
No, of course not. Then they're like too into themselves.
It's weird.
So I think
especially a selfie.
That's just a hard no.
No, like if you regularly take selfies and you're a guy, just no.
No. I 100% agree. But I just thought that it was because they just have less photos to work with to begin with. So they put one up.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Just like, this is me at my best.
Yeah. It's probably their best photo of themselves.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they do it.
But how old is that photo?
That's another question.
Is it like a year too old, or is it almost reaching a decade.
I mean, I can't remember. I don't know.
Have you ever used a
No.
business photo? Okay.
No.
Interesting. I haven't been on any dating apps ever, so.
But my friends and I that are single talk about it, and I think etiquette is your photo should be within the last year. That's just what I think.
There's etiquette. You and your friends talk about etiquette on dating apps?
Yeah, or going on dates or different things.
That's fair, though.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what you look like now. I don't want to be surprised.
I think it's like catfishing otherwise. Basically, if it's 5 years ago, that's not the same person you are now.
Yeah, so update your pics, guys. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Do you get any leads on dating apps? Or when you were on them, did you get any leads?
No, but I would say a third of matches, the first question they would talk about is like, oh, you're a real estate agent, because you say your job.
Yeah.
And then I immediately want to stop talking to them. Like if that's your best line, if you just want to talk about real estate, I just don't engage. But I do have friends who are real estate agents who are single, who have been on dating apps, who have gotten leads from it and done showings, and then it's a
waste of time.
It's a waste of time.
Okay. That's what I figured.
It's just a waste of time. Yeah. I won't get into it, but some interesting stories.
You know, I would probably be all up in that. Just like, hey, I'm a mortgage agent.
Oh,
like,
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
We go out for dinner, people talk to us. You're like, hey, I'm a mortgage agent. Here's my business card. I need to get better at that. I just am not, when I'm in my personal life, I just kind of shut that off.
Yeah. No, not me. I carry my business cards with me, even if I know I'm like going out drinking with friends. Just like handing them out to people. It's good bonding when you're out and you're meeting people.
True.
You know, there's people that I've met just like once in my life. I've never talked to them again, but I'm like, wow, like if we did talk, we'd probably be best friends. You know? Okay, next. Which season would you be and why?
You're going to make fun of me, but fall. Because I know you don't like fall, or you have some issues with fall.
I like fall to a degree.
I'd say fall or spring. Those are my favorite seasons.
Oh God, those are my spring. That's the worst one.
I feel like it's like a fresh start. I always like do a deep clean of my house.
No, when I picture spring, I picture just like mud. Just like everything melting and just like mud.
I think this is the kids in you, so it's like impractical. Like your kids that you have, they probably bring mud in.
Well, I just like, I wear white shoes all the time too. And it's just like spring, all my shoes get destroyed.
I love spring and I love fall. Just both of them seem like a fresh start. Going into fall, summer's done. I also do a deep clean of my house. The air's refreshing. It's cozy.
But if you had to pick fall or spring, which one?
Spring, actually, the more I think about it.
I think mine would be summer and winter. I like winter.
I love winter. I think summer.
You just don't like summer?
Growing up, no. And I think in the last few years, I've started to like summer a lot more. I don't know if it's just sticky. It's so hot in Canada sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just not my favorite season. Mm-hmm. But
I don't picture like cottage, going swimming in the lake, going for walks.
I think now that my family bought a cottage in the last few years, I think that's been the big shift.
Yeah.
Is that I like the summer for the cottage, and I got a dog a few years ago. Yeah. And so like going to the cottage with my dog, I mean, I hike with my dog even in -20 in the winter. Like we go on walks because she's so young. She has to get out. She brings me out in all seasons. But I do think having a dog and getting a cottage has really made me like enjoy summer more. And I think because too in my 20s, I lived downtown Toronto in a condo, and it's just sticky, and there was not like as much to do other than just go to patios. So I think it's just the phase of life I'm in now. I'm enjoying summer more than ever. But I grew up skiing, so I always loved winter. My birthday's in February, so I love the winter.
So the answer is I like all the seasons.
I like all the seasons.
Okay, next question. How late is too late to cancel plans with someone?
I need specifics. Like
you're going out for dinner with me.
Well, it depends on the situation. If you had an emergency and it's right before, I totally.
No, just like you're canceling because you don't feel like it.
As much notice as possible. Like, I think it's rude.
Okay.
I also think it's very rude when people are late. I mean, give someone max 5-minute grace period, but I'm always on time or a few minutes. Like I plan to be like 5 minutes early. I just think, to me, my biggest pet peeve in life is being late. I think it's so disrespectful of someone's time.
I don't like it either.
So I think going back to that, it's how someone approaches it and how early you made the plans, you know, and given the scenario. But I do think just being flaky, no.
Okay.
Not okay.
Let's go back to some real estate questions. Can you share any funny real estate related stories?
Okay, so many, but I don't know what's appropriate. The first one that comes to mind is I was on a showing, and first of all, when we book showings, no one's allowed to use the bathroom in houses. And this was like extra strict during COVID. We would sign waivers about a bunch of stuff, like only the agent would touch the light switches. No one would use the bathrooms, and a lot of people literally tape the toilet seat shut and say do not use. I still see that all the time. Saw that last week on a showing.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Like, think about when you were selling your house. If people started using it and you come home.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah, okay.
So I was showing a gentleman a house, and I turn around, and all of a sudden we were like walking past the bathroom in the house, and he just starts peeing with the door open, and I literally walked away and froze. I'm like, is this happening? Like, what am I supposed to do? He just started peeing and didn't close the door.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you say anything?
Well, after, yeah, I was like, you're not supposed to use the bathroom, but in my head, yeah. I was so uncomfortable. It's funny, but like not funny. And so there's that. And I'm sure you get it too. Just being on social media, being your number out there, like you get more inappropriate photos than I've ever gotten in my life.
Okay, yeah. I can relate to this. Just don't do that.
No.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. I don't even want to go there.
Okay, next. How many times have you moved?
A lot. Like more than anyone I know. I have to count. So born in Mississauga, moved to Florida briefly. My parents from real estate, so they always wanted to move whenever they saw a good opportunity. They didn't like it there, moved back to Mississauga, lived there, lived in 1, 2, 3 other homes in Mississauga, bought a new build in Milton, and then my parents got divorced and we moved to another house in Milton, which my mom's now in. So 8 homes between being born and high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and grade 9 is when my parents split and we moved. And then in high school was in that house. University, moved around quite a bit, went on exchange, lived in France briefly. And then in my adult life, after graduating university, went into commercial real estate, got a job downtown Toronto, moved into a condo there with my sister. She was in med school at the time, lived there for a bit, moved in with my boyfriend in a condo. Then we moved to Burlington, bought a condo, and then bought the house that I'm now in on my own. So a lot. When you add that up, that's almost, I think, like 16 times. I'm 31. That's basically every other year of my entire life. And now I've been in this home for 2.5 years, and I want to stay for a bit, but I'm sure I'm going to move again when I eventually have a family and kids and have more space. So, but I don't want to, I think I want to move like 1 or 2 more times. I don't see myself moving a lot because I want to like stay.
Yeah. Do you think that that helps you as a real estate agent?
Definitely, because I know the process of moving. I also think that going back to before how I said that you could throw me into any situation and I'll make friends, I think it's because in elementary school I moved so much. I went to 3 different elementary schools. So at least a lot of the houses were in the same neighborhood, so I didn't always move elementary schools, but that's like quite often for someone pretty young. So I always was having different groups of friends. And then in high school, I didn't know a lot of people. That was like a new group of people. And then from there, like I still have high school friends and university friends, but like at a young age, I constantly had a lot of change around me and I had to be adaptable, I think.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that like now helps me when I'm older, which is so interesting.
If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be?
An architect. That's what I wanted to be in high school. I was definitely like social, but like a nerd. I loved math, calculus. I love physics. I prepared all of high school to either go into finance or be an architect. And like last minute, I decided to go into finance. Got a business degree, concentrated in finance, and then it ended up in commercial real estate, residential. But I think I've always loved homes and buildings and stuff like that. So it's kind of all under, to me, makes sense where I ended up because I
Yeah.
always had that interest. I mean, I grew up in a real estate family and I was like, I'm not going to do real estate. I'm going to be an architect or do finance and do business. And then here I am.
Yeah. That's funny. I definitely would say something like influencer.
That's my
Just,
worst nightmare
oh
because
God.
like literally I have to force myself to post
I
on
would
social
love to
media.
just get like Amazon boxes and just like make videos of me like putting away my cool glasses and
This just
home decor.
exactly to a key shows our personalities and how
Yeah.
different we are. Yeah, we get along so well, but how like we truly are very yin and yang to each
Yeah.
other.
So funny. Okay, let's end it off with what is your favorite quote?
What's meant for you won't pass you. So just believe in life that everything happens for a reason. Like all those cheesy quotes, as you get older and you go through more stuff, you just like know what's meant for you is not going to pass you in life. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. Mine's definitely nothing like that.
what's yours?
Mine would definitely be a Tim Grover quote, and it's winning will hand you the chair with one broken leg so you can never get comfortable.
I love that because you have to like keep going. Who wants to be that complacent?
Yeah.
Right? I think that is boring. I think constantly evolving and changing and growing, even when you have success, is what makes life exciting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, thanks for sharing and being open.